Yes, good morning, top of the morning, Zaga, Yaga. You know the vibe. You're rocking out with yours truly, Showtime Sizzle. I am the sauce. Give y'all a little morning sauce, man. Yo, some of the shit that you listen to and you watch, right? Yeah, you can't make this shit up, man. I swear you can't. You can't make it up, man. Um, see what I titled this: Double Fan Standards, right? Double fan standards, man. Because some of these shits that you see and you listen to, right? As a fan of the sport of boxing, when you watch and you listen, right? A lot of fights have been coming out being announced, right? And you get fans, right? That they get so emotionally, you know, attached to certain fighters, right? And it shows because it's like if a fighter that they are emotionally attached to does something, right, they will praise it, highlight it, run with it. Now if a fighter that they don't like does the same exact move, same exact thing, they will attack it, hate on it, highlight it, and try to shame it. I am going to try to do this under, you know, 15, 20 minutes and give you some examples of this, right? Um, I'm going to use, different fighters and situations and show you this. Lomachenko, right? Now, it's coming back. October, what is it, 29th, New York, Madison Square Garden. He's having a tune-up fight against a sparring partner, a former sparring partner, right? Now, Lomachenko, you got a lot of people that feel that he's overrated. He gets too much accolades and praise and yada yada yada, right? You know, it is what it is. So by him fighting a former sparring partner, right, and his comeback tune-up fight, which they're trying to set him up for to get the winner of Haney Cambosis, um, you're seeing a lot of people, highlight that. Oh, he's fighting a sparring partner. He's fighting a sparring partner. Well, he's supposed to be this great pedigree pound for pound fighter. He's fighting a sparring partner. So they're bashing it, they're shaming it, they're doing whatever they can to make it seem like, he's not who they say he is, right? Granted, uh, it is what it is. That's the business of boxing, right? Now I just want to show y'all how the double fan standards, right? I just said how they're killing Lomachenko off for coming back, taking the tune up, fighting the sparring partner on October 29th, right? In New York, Manhattan to be exact, Madison Square Garden. Now, 2 weeks before that, you have Deontay Wilder, the former WBC heavyweight champion, returning to the ring as well in New York and Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. He also is facing a former sparring partner, but the energy is totally different. See the double fan standards. You know, you don't see them bashing Wilder for coming back after over a year layoff, two back-to-back losses, knockouts. But him coming back fighting, uh, a legend. Well, it's not even a legend, but like to say a legend. Sparring partner, a former sparring partner. You don't see the same energy now. That's why I said the double fan standards. You don't see the same energy. But he's doing the same thing that Lomachenko is doing, fighting a former sparring partner in a tune-up fight that could possibly set him up to get another title shot, or at least get him into a title eliminator, or possibly get him a chance to fight the winner of Usyk and Fury when they do fight, right? But just like I said, you don't see that same energy. Why isn't there an uproar and a cry saying, "Oh, he's fighting his sparring partner"? Double fan standards. See, when certain fans idolize and praise one fighter as a god, whatever they do will never be wrong in their eyes. But when you demonize and you look at other fighters as devils, or you hate on them, whatever they do will always be in the wrong. Now let's move on, right? Let's give you another example. Like I said, I'm gonna use like maybe three examples of this. Okay. Now when it comes to pound for pound, right? The pound for pound list that ESPN puts out, right? Uh I seen the outcry and the uproar because I believe Jamel Charlo, who is an undisputed fighter, isn't on the list. Uh Devin Haney, another undisputed fighter, is not on the list. So it was like a uproar, say ESPN this, and they don't really know boxing, yada yada yada, right? Number one, Jamel Charlo, he's not going to be on the list. Does he deserve to be on the list? Most likely, yes. He is an undisputed champion, and he made history in the 154 division. Never has been an undisputed champion. But you're talking about ESPN, right? Number one, he's not going to be on the list because it's politics of boxing. This is the same fighter that went off on one of their workers after he became undisputed. So you got to look at that, right? You got to look at that. That could be a big reason why they are keeping him off the list, right? Does he deserve to be on the list? Like I said, he should be. He's an undisputed champion. But when you talk about pound for pound, right? And you only campaigned in one weight class, right? Does that make you pound for pound just because you're undisputed in that weight class? Pound for pound, and this is my assessment on it, is you are moving around. So when I see Shakur Stevenson on there, right? That's why I said double fan standard, right? And guys are upset that he's on there over Devin Haney. And Devin Haney is a undisputed lightweight champion. Yes. Pound for pound, you move around. Yes, Devin Haney is undisputed lightweight champion. He has only been like Jamel Charlo, one weight class, right? One weight class. So you see the reasoning for this. It's called pound for pound. If you only conquered one weight division, regardless if you have all the straps or not, you're not moving around. Shakur Stevenson captured a title at 126, vacated that title, moved up to 130, defeated a champion in Jamel Herring. Now he is a two division champion, pound for pound. He's moving around. Then he goes on to, in April of this year, defeat another champion in Oscar Valdez at 130. Now he has not one, but two belts at 130. So not only is he a two division champion, he is also a unified champion, pound for pound. He's moving around. But now the double standards, because like I said, one thing about Shakur, he is when it comes to the bloggers, the YouTubers, um, they like him, but they like Devin Haney more. You know, that's why I said the double standards in boxing. Devin Haney's YouTube. That's what let's call it for what it is. His YouTube love is greater than Shakur's because we have to say alleged. Tiafimo has come out and alleged that it's a lot of YouTubers being paid off and things of that nature by Team Haney and them, and it might be true, it may not be true. That's why we have to say alleged, right? But that too could be a factoring point in why the double standards when it comes to Devin Haney and people riding for him and saying, "Oh, he deserves to be on pound for pound because he's undisputed champion at lightweights." No, double standards. That's why I said certain fans, right, will praise a fighter, right, and hate on the other fighter just because they don't like him, but they are doing pretty much the same thing. Now let's move on to our final example of this, and it is the biggest fight in boxing, as talked about on the YTC circuit. Um, Bud Crawford, Earl Spence. Now you have the Bud Basher bandits that will try to shame him, uh, try to knock his hustle, make him seem like less than everything that he is, just because they simply hate him. Now, when their favorite fighter, Earl Spence, moves and does similar moves as Bud Crawford, they look the other way or they praise it as to say he can do no wrong. See, now that's the double standards with these fans because when Earl Spence, right, uh, does certain things, right? Now you had Keith Thurman call him out, right? I'm showing y'all prime examples. Keith Thurman calls this man out. He jumps on Twitter and does everything. I'll never fight him. He doesn't deserve to fight. The Spence fans are cheering. That's right, EJ. Fuck that. He don't deserve to fight. Double standards in boxing. Now, let's reference Bud Crawford. or you can reference anybody, Demetrius Andre, because he's another one they don't like. He just tossed his belt in the trash, basically saying he's not going to fight his mandatory. Look how the double standards kicked in on that. He's a duck now. He's a duck. What is the difference between what Earl Spence pretty much said about Keith Thurman? I'm not fighting him. A guy that called him out for a fight, and he says, "No, I'll never fight him." But yet he is praised. He is validated. He is looked at as, yeah, fuck it, that's right, EJ. When Andrade Boo Boo dumped his belt in the trash to avoid fighting a mandatory, pretty much a guy that called him out, worked his way up to be a mandatory challenger, he's considered a duck. He's considered a duck, right? Now, let's use Bud now, man. This is gonna hurt a lot of y'all feelings, right? It's gonna hurt a lot of y'all feelings, right? Double standards in boxing. Now, when Terrence Crawford negotiates what he feels he's worth, right? When he negotiates what he feels he's worth, and he holds out, or that's the rumor that he's the holdup for the fight because he wants what he feels he's worth, right? Um, when he does shit like that, he's top ranked Toby. He's a coon. Uh, just signed a contract. Uh, sign the contract. Sign the contract. You don't sell. You don't do this. You don't do that. Sign the contract. Now, just like I told you, the double standards in boxing. When one fighter is hated on or disliked, any type of move that he does will be magnified and fault will be found in it. Now, when Earl Spence demands 60-40, 70-30 at one time, right? This is a fighter who put in his work, right? He has three of the belts. Um, he's a big draw, like they like to say. He puts asses in the seats. He does pay-per-views, right? So he does no wrong asking for what he asks for, right? You see the double standards, how I'm breaking this down to you? Because he is more liked, he is more popular, so he is more idolized, he is more godly to certain fixtures. So when he does the same thing what Terrence Crawford is doing, negotiating what he feels he's worth, are y'all catching this sauce? Double standard sauce. You see how we had to take it in a new direction when it comes to putting out content. Like I said, media marketing agent. So I have to really put out stuff that's going to make you go, hmm. Now, I gave you a couple examples of the double standards, how fans are so what they are fans, right? And they get so caught up on loving and protecting their favorite fighter that when their fighter does certain things, they see no wrong in it. But another fighter can do the same thing they do, and it's completely terrible, this, that, and the third. I gave you the Lomo and Wilder situation, where they're both doing pretty much the same thing, fighting a tune-up fight against a former sparring partner. But yet Lomo is thrown underneath the bus for doing this, while Wilder is praised as our king has returned. Our king has returned. But he's doing the same thing Lomo was doing. Things that make you go, right? Isn't that the same? Then I showed y'all the pound for pound situation. where Devin is not on the list. Charlo is not on the list, but Shakur is on the list. But these guys deserve to be on it more than Shakur because, especially Devin, he's undisputed. He's undisputed. Is it simply that he's undisputed, or y'all like him more than Shakur? Because I just read down Shakur's accolades. Multi-division champion, now a unified champion, and he's beating champions. Jamel Herring is a champion. Uh, Oscar Valdez, another undefeated champion. Devin Haney became undisputed, defeating George Kambosos. But yet, the two names I just ran off for Shakur, champions that he defeated pretty much back to back. Back to back. But yet, y'all want to knock them for putting him on the pound for pound and be upset that Devin nor Charlo was on there. Charlo is not going to be on there. Charlo tirade against Mike Covington pretty much sealed his fate. If you know the game, you know the game. There's no way ESPN, who that man works for, is going to give that guy any accolades. When he had his outbreak, when he flipped out after winning his title, becoming undisputed, and his coach was like, "We like him, we like him." He said, "No, that's your man." He even flipped on Derek on national TV. At the post-fight press conference. Man, that's some good lemonade. That's some hella lemonade right there. But yes, there's no way he's getting on the list, man. That shit is politics. They're not putting him on the list. Y'all know that. But yes, let me wrap this up. Jump on the road. It's Friday. I got to do the hardest part of the day. I got to get out the house and head on in. In a perfect world, I would be retired right now, running my own trucks, but that may be the move pretty soon. Um, and then I can set my own schedule, right? But yes, let me get on the road. You know, salute to everybody. Shout out to my team. Yes, Team Tucker. Jihad is looking good for those of y'all that fuck with us. And there is a lot of y'all that do. September 23rd is the date. It's up. Newark. Uh, can't wait. That's a Friday night fight. Um, also that night, a little down the way, down the road, at the 2300 Arena, my guy Famous Wilson also in action. So it's a big week for the Islanders, yes, the Suffolk boys. We some Island boys, yes. But everybody be great, put that work in. Let me tell you this too, man. For those of y'all out there that fuck with the Source experience and the Source talk, do your thing, man. Don't be consumed about views, likes, watches, and numbers, right? This past weekend, this past week, I might say, because it's today Friday. I shook the game up, man. My channel, I had pound for pound on. I had the Omaha hitters on, right? Me. It shook the game up to the point where these other channels were so irate and mad, they had to do the Bud bashing behind that because Bud doesn't bless their platform. It is what it is, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, when you actually do real life things, just not, on the computer all day, every day, making diss videos and diss tracks. I'm gonna say diss track because that's what I look at YouTube as now. YouTube to me is like the music industry. You know, you got a lot of channels that do disc records. Too much time on their hands, man. But yes, man, everybody be great. Do your thing. You know, come outside, man. Get some air. Walk the block. Go to the park. You know, summer's winding down. Enjoy the last couple of weeks of summer, man. Because the fall will be here before you know it. It'll be winter and it'll be extremely cold. With that being said, everybody be great. Zaga, Yaga, Ahala.